Engaging all enemies.
If you guys are interested in being a member, then click the join button down below to check out the available perks. The first tier is only $1. Thank you to those of you who choose to join. What's up, Moscow? Welcome to another Division 2 build breakdown video. Before we get into the video, if you're already subscribed to me, then don't forget to smash that like button, as it really does help push our videos into the recommended section, which in turn helps the channel grow. Interaction is a big part of what helps us in the YouTube algorithm, and the extra support is very much appreciated. Today's build is one of the most simple and basic builds to make, and offers an insane amount of damage, utility and survivability. Just off one kill alone, you're looking at 30% armor on kill, 50% bonus armor on kill, 100% health on kill, status effect on kill, 5% rate of fire on kill, 20% movement speed on kill, and 15% weapon damage on kill. This isn't including all the crit damage on kill you can stack, helping you reach up to 225%, as well as max crit chance, depending on the weapon variations you use. At its base, this build has 1.7 million armor, and fully stacked is capable of reaching well over 3 million. On top of being a tank, we have all the survivability that I just mentioned, plus 3% armor regen. So not only do you have burst forms of healing on kill, but passive healing as well, both types helping in different situations. You could also take that survivability even further by running Unbreakable for that 95% armor repair if your armor gets depleted, making you near enough unkillable. Now, if that isn't impressive enough, when it comes to this build's damage numbers, when fully stacked, you're looking at 1.3 million plus crits to the head of NPCs and 1 million plus to the body. With all buffs active against players in the DZ, you're hitting between 200k and 250k crits. This comes from a mix of high crit damage and amplified damage. What makes this build so overpowered though is the synergy between the gear talents, skills, specialization and weapon talents. They all chain together to make an insanely strong build that just gets stronger and stronger the more you kill players or NPCs. Right guys, starting off with the specialization, and we are using the gunner. Reason being is it synergizes so well with the rest of our build. This specialization offers DPS, survivability and utility. As you can see, we get the right foam grenade, which is great for both PVE and PvP. If you can funnel enemies and then use this grenade, you will snare a bunch of them, which makes them easier to kill. Up next, killing enemies grants 10% armor, which adds on to the 20% we already have on our build, taking us to a total of 30%. Next, every third reload is 50% faster. That's going to add to DPS, and it comes in clutch, especially when you're using a low mag SMG. The armor kit on this build gives us 100% armor repair and then 30% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Every specialization has a skill with it that you can unlock, and as you can see is the Banshee Pulse. You can see in the gameplay that is very effective, stuns NPCs, making them easier to kill. This specialization also generates 10% of total ammo capacity every 60 seconds. Which is great if you're a solo player, because you'll find you'll never run out of ammo. If you're not picking it up through NPCs, then this specialization will be replenishing it for you. Up next, rate of fire increased by 5% on kill. This is just going to add to our DPS, helping us kill faster. 50% pulse resistant, that's going to help when you're in a dark zone. And that is pretty much it for the specialization. So with that said, let's move on to the build breakdown. Right guys, getting into the build breakdown, start off with our primary weapon, and we have the Lady Death. We get 75% amplified damage, and if kills grant plus 20% movement speed for 10 seconds, which synergizes so well with this build. It is a run and gun build, so boost our movement speed is only going to help aid our survivability and help us build our stacks up faster, so we can pump out that 75% amplified damage. Moving on to our secondary, and every weapon in this build has an important role. As you can see, I have a standard Banshee SMG here with the talent Vindictive. You can use the named version, which is called the Grudge, and as you can see here, the named version gives 18% rather than 15%. So when you kill an enemy under a status effect, you'll gain 15% critical hit chance and 15% critical hit damage for 20 seconds, and that applies to you and your teammates. But seeing as this is a solo build, it's only going to be applied to you. Now this is a pretty easy talent to proc, seeing as you're going to be running a EMP sticky, Banshee Pulse, and the gear set itself puts the status effect on kill. So you'll have plenty of opportunities to proc this talent. Looking at the attachments on this weapon, we have 5% crit chance on the scope, the 20 extra rounds in the magazine, 5% crit chance on the laser pointer, and 5% crit damage on the flash hider. Moving on to our sidearm, and as you can see, I have the named pistol, the TDI card. The benefit to using this is as a skill tier. That skill tier is going to help boost any skills that you use, obviously, so it's going to make your decoy last longer, the effect of your EMP sticky last longer, and the same applies to a Banshee Pulse. We also have the finisher talent. Swapping from this weapon within 10 seconds of killing an enemy grants 30% critical hit chance and 30% critical hit damage. Now, if you don't want to use the TDI card and you want some more damage, you can use the Orbit, which has the perfect finisher talent, and that will grant you 35% crit chance and 40% critical hit damage. Right guys, now we have covered the weapons, let's get into the gear pieces. So we have 4 pieces of Hunter's Fury. The 2 piece gives us the SMG damage that we're looking for at 15%. 3 pieces gives us 20% armor on kill, which will be 30% thanks to the gunner specialization. We have 100% health on kill, and then the 4 piece gives us a 20% weapon damage, amplified weapon damage buff against enemies within 15 meters. Killing a debuffed enemy with a weapon disorientates other enemies within 5 meters and amplifies weapon damage by 5% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. That's an extra 25% weapon damage, so it's just amplified damage and weapon damage out of the ears. Looking at the attributes, we have max armor at 170k, we have 12% critical hit damage and 6% critical hit chance via a mod. Moving on to the chest piece, we have a Sokolov chest piece giving us 10% SMG damage, we have 15% weapon damage, 6% critical hit chance, 12% critical hit damage and 12% critical hit damage via a mod. The talent we are using is Intimidate, while you have bonus armor, amplifies total weapon damage by 35% to all enemies within 10 meters. We're also going to be stacking untold amounts of bonus armor, which means we'll have that 35% amplified damage a lot of the time. Moving on to the Hunter's Fury holster, we have 170k armor, so maxed out armor and then 12% critical hit damage. All my pieces are maxed out guys, I managed to optimize all of them, and with this being a gear set, it's one less attribute that you have to spec into, which makes it easier to optimize. Hunter's Fury knee pads, again maxed out 170 armor and 12% critical hit damage. Onto our Hunter's Fury gloves, we have maxed out armor 170k again and then 12% critical hit damage. The idea guys is you want maxed out armor and 12% critical hit damage across the board, apart from either one mod or one attribute roll at 6% crit chance, just to get you to the 50% plus mark. And finally, the backpack, and of course it's the best in slot for any solo build in the game. It is the Memento, offering 50% weapon damage, maxed armor, so a full blue core, 1 red core and 1 yellow core. Again, that is going to go towards our skill along with the TDI card, so your skills will be a 2 tier. Moving on to our skills, and I highly recommend the decoy, not only for PVE because it distracts NPCs, but for PvP. My secondary skill I'm using is the Banshee Pulse. Reason I'm using this is it just stuns multiple NPCs, makes it easier for me to go ahead and proc the Vindictive talent and also the Finisher talent to help me stack up on that crit damage. When it comes to mods on this, I have 6.5% cone size and 15% effect duration. When it comes to the mods on the decoy, I have 7.5% health and 7.5% duration. The longer it's down, the better. I will also say, if you're using the TDI card, the second skill tier only applies when you have the pistol out. Now moving on to the stat sheet, also don't forget to smash that like button to help support the channel, as it's going to help our videos grow. Leave a comment down below and I'll reply like I always do. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Mod Squad. If you guys are interested in being a member, then click the join button down below to check out the available perks. The first tier is only $1. Thank you to those of you who choose to join. What's up, Mod Squad? Welcome to another Division 2 video. Before we get into the video, if you're already subscribed to me, then don't forget to smash that like button, as it really helps push our videos into the recommended section, which in turn helps the channel grow. With the latest news of the Division 2 apparel event and Year 3 content being delayed, your support is needed now more than ever. Interaction is a big part of what helps us in the YouTube algorithm, and the extra support is very much appreciated. So help us reach that 500 like goal and drop a comment below letting me know how you feel about the latest Division 2 content delays. Now with that said, let's take a look at today's build, which rivals my Hunter's Fury one-man army build. Now although the Hunter's Fury build does hit harder within 15 meters and has more utility in the form of armor and status effect on kill, Strikers can compete with its damage, as Strikers damage is quicker to gain and easier to keep. You're also not required to get kills to gain stacks or kill within a 10-second time frame to keep stacks. All you have to do with Strikers is land your shots. Strikers damage also isn't limited by range like Hunter's Fury, allowing you to do high damage up close and at distance. The lack of utility in my opinion is made up in DPS via RPM and weapon handling, allowing SMGs to perform a lot better at range. Also when it comes to Strikers, there's a lot less requirements and restrictions to gain and keep damage. I will be using the chest piece in today's build, as it allows us to have 100 stacks and gives us more consistent damage. This is a pretty basic build to make, and it offers an insane amount of damage and survivability. Just off one kill alone you gain 50% bonus armor on kill, 10% weapon damage on kill, 5% rate of fire on kill, 10% armor on kill, and 20% movement speed on kill. This isn't including all the crit damage on kill you can stack, helping you reach up to 225% as well as max crit chance, depending on the weapon you use. At its base, this build has 1.7 million armor, and fully stacked is capable of reaching well over 3 million. On top of being a tank, we have plenty of survivability from the two types of armor on kill, as well as 3% armor regen, so not only does this build have burst forms of healing, but passive healing as well, both types helping in different situations. Now if that isn't impressive enough, when it comes to this build's damage numbers, when fully stacked you're hitting 900k crits to the head and 700k plus crits to the body. This build is not only great for run and gun, but it's also insanely good for medium range fights 20 meters plus. To make the most of this build, you'll need an aggressive playstyle to keep both damage and armor stacks active. The more you kill, the stronger you get. This build's perfect for all heroic content, whether that's control points, bounties or the summit, and it's a lot of fun to use. Now we have spoken a little bit about the build and I'll showcase some of what it's capable of. Let's get into a quick build breakdown. Right guys, starting off with the specialization, and we are using the gunner. Reason being is it synergizes so well with the rest of our build. This specialization offers DPS, survivability and utility. As you can see, we get the right foam grenade, which is great for both PVE and PvP. If you can funnel enemies and then use this grenade, you will snare a bunch of them, which makes them easier to kill. Up next, killing enemies grants 10% armor. Next, every third reload is 50% faster. That's going to add to DPS, and it comes in clutch, especially when you're using a low mag SMG. The armor kit on this build gives us 100% armor repair and then 30% bonus armor for 10 seconds. Every specialization has a skill with it that you can unlock, and as you can see is the Banshee Pulse. You can see in the gameplay that is very effective, stuns NPCs making them easier to kill. This specialization also generates 10% of total ammo capacity every 60 seconds. Which is great if you're a solo player, because you'll find you'll never run out of ammo. If you're not picking it up through NPCs, then this specialization will be replenishing it for you. Up next, rate of fire increased by 5% on kill. This is just going to add to our DPS, helping us kill faster. 50% pulse resistant, that's going to help when you're in a dark zone. And that is pretty much it for the specialization. So with that said, let's move on to the build breakdown. Right guys, starting off with the build with our primary weapon, which is the Lady Death. Why the Lady Death? Because it's so damn overpowered. If you have it, why wouldn't you use it? If you don't, second choice I would say is the MPX with the Talent Killer. I'm loving that in a minute, because this is a build where you want to chain kills. Killer just fits in perfectly. If you haven't got a Lady Death, then I would highly suggest using the SIG MPX, as it has great range. I think it's 22 meters. Looking at the attachments on this weapon, 5% crit chance on the scope, 5% crit chance on the laser pointer, 5% crit chance on the suppressor, and the mag gives us the extra 20 rounds minus reload speed, but that gets made up for by Striker's weapon handling buff. Looking at the talent, we have Killer. Killing an enemy with a critical hit gains 40% critical hit damage for 10 seconds. You can stack this with Vindictive and Finisher and gain around 225% critical hit damage. That is a lot of crit damage on top of all that weapon damage we're getting from Strikers. Now moving on to our secondary, and it's important you run this guys if you want to get those stats quickly, as shotguns gain the stacks super quick when it comes to Strikers. I'm using the ACS-12, basically the showstopper from Division 1. The talent is Vindictive. Killing an enemy with a status effect applied grants you and your allies 15% critical hit chance and 15% critical hit damage for 20 seconds. And this is something, again, you can stack with the Finisher talent. When it comes to the attachments, 5% critical hit chance on the scope and 5% crit chance on the laser pointer. Moving on to the sidearm, which does play a vital role in this build, we have the Orbit pistol, or you can use any other pistol with the Finisher talent. We have Perfect Finisher. Swapping from this weapon within 10 seconds of killing an enemy grants 35% critical hit chance and 40% critical hit damage for 15 seconds. Now, if you haven't got the Orb pistol, I'd highly recommend the TDI card, another named pistol. It gives you one skill tier. This is going to make your Banshee pulse a lot bigger and make it last longer. And then roll in the finisher talent on this weapon, as again you can see 30% critical hit chance and 30% critical hit damage, 10% less critical hit damage than you get from the Orbit pistol, and 5% less crit chance. When it comes to the attachments, 5% crit chance on the scope, 5% crit chance on the suppressor, 10% crit chance on the small laser pointer, and the magazine gives us the extra 11 rounds. Now that we have covered the weapons, guys, let's look at the gear pieces. And like I said earlier in the video, this is a very simple build to make. Looking at the mask, we have max armor 170k, we have 10.3% critical hit damage, 12% critical hit damage via a mod. The chest piece, so we gain the extra 100 stacks, as you can see at the bottom. The press the advantage increases max stacks on Striker's Gamble from 50 to 100%. We have 15% weapon damage, 12% critical hit damage, and 12% critical hit damage via a mod. Now, I would suggest farm the Summit, guys, if you haven't got the chest piece or you haven't got Striker pieces in general. Super easy to get. Find a boss floor, wipe the bosses, leave some NPCs left, and then fast travel out to the lobby, and then do it over and over again. You can just farm the bosses. Looking at the holster, our Striker's holster, 170k armor with 4.6% crit chance. This isn't even maxed out, guys, and it hits like an absolute truck. Knee pads, we do have the Fox Prayer knee pads on, as you can see. We have 170k armor, 8% damage targets out of cover for that multiplicative damage, and 12% critical hit damage. Now, this is up to you guys. If you're using a Lady Death, you might want to stack up on the armor damage. Looking at our gloves, we have the Striker gloves with 170k armor again, and 11.4% critical hit damage. And like I said, if you want to switch out the knee pads and go for the Contractor's gloves instead, so you can get that 8% damage to armor, then you can stack that for the damage to armor you gain from the Lady Death. Now onto the backpack, and of course it is the Memento, best backpack for any solo build in the game. 15% weapon damage, 170k armor, 1 skill tier, 12% critical hit damage via mod. The kill confirmed talent, we gain 50% bonus armor on kill, 10% weapon damage on kill. The skill efficiency is going to help buff our pulse and our Striker drone. The Striker drone is going to be used as a distraction, and the pulse is going to help us stack up on the extra crit damage and crit chance. Also, guys, don't forget, do not sleep on the passive bonuses of this backpack. 30% weapon damage, 3% armor regen, and 30% skill efficiency. All things that gel really well with this build. Looking at the skills, I am using the Striker drone. I usually go between the Striker drone and the decoy, just because it serves as a distraction to NPCs. The Striker drone I like a little bit more, as it lasts longer and it has more health, and it can travel along with you. When it comes to the attachments on here, 7.5% duration, 9.2% health, and 4.8% damage. Looking at my pulse, we have the Gunner Specialization Banshee Pulse, 15% radius on there, the special mod that you get because you're using the gunner, and then we have 15% effect duration, and as you can see, it is a tier 2, and it will get stronger when you get the long-term buffs for the Memento and pick up trophies. And that is pretty much it for the build, guys. We're going to look at the stat sheet right now. I'm not going to talk through it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'll reply like I always do. Smash that like button to help us get to that 500 like goal, as the likes and comments are even more crucial to the channel now because of the drop in the player base and the fact that we have to wait for the new content. So the support is very much needed and appreciated, guys. Anyway, I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Mod Squad. What's up, Mod Squad? MOB back with another Division 2 build breakdown video. In today's video, I'll be showcasing my control point speedrun build. This is a build that will allow you to complete heroic control points in around 3 to 4 minutes. This build consists of a lot of amplified damage, bonus armor stacking, and protection from elites. Perfect for heroic control points. This is also a pretty good build for Legendary Summit, but today we'll be concentrating on heroic control points, as it still seems to be one of the most popular ways to farm. Now, when you make a build for a specific activity, you have to build around it and the enemies within that activity, and it just so happens that heroic control points are like 85% elite NPCs. And it's because of that today's build has 70% protection from elites. It's that which applies to both you and your skills. This combined with our 1.5 to 2 million plus armor makes us extremely tanky against elite NPCs, allowing us to get right up in the face of our enemies. Paired with this build's insane survivability, we have some ridiculous damage that allows us to melt through heroic elite NPCs in just 30 bullets, hitting over 580k crits to the body, which to me sounds like the perfect combination for a run and gun build that you can use for control points. I've honestly had a lot of fun running this build as it fits my playstyle and allows me to get through the activity really fast. If I was to give any tips for using this build, it would be to always stay aggressive and don't hesitate, because from each kill with this build you gain 15% weapon damage and 40% bonus armor. Right guys, starting off with the specialization, we are using the survivalist, and there's only one reason we're using it, so we gain the extra 10% increased protection from elites. That is literally it. That's the only benefit we really get from this. This specialization is optional. If you feel like you can play with 60% rather than 70%, then totally change up the specialization. The gunner is very nice to use, has a lot of utility, definitely one I'd recommend using. Or you could even go for the technician, which is a great one to use when you're doing the legendary summit. That is the specialization, guys, and with that said, let's move on to the build. Starting off with the primary weapon, and we have the Lady Death, one of the hardest, if not the hardest hitting SMG in the game. As you can see, we have 80.2k base damage, which goes up to 100k once you have all the buffs active. We have 900 RPM, 32 in the mag. We have the Breathe Free talent. We gain a lot of amplified damage. As you can see, each round fired consumes a stack of amplified damage by 75%. When we get a kill, we also gain movement speed, 20% movement speed for 10 seconds, which is also very nice for a speedrun build. Starting off with the first piece of gear, which is our Sokolov mask. We have 170k armor rolled on there with 10.3% critical hit damage, 5.8% critical hit chance, and 12% protection from elites. Now if you guys want these mods, the best place to farm them is in the legendary summit. Moving on to our chest piece now, we have a Group Ensemble chest piece giving us 15% critical hit damage. We have 14.2% weapon damage, 9.8% critical hit damage, and 5.7% critical hit chance, 12% protection from elites via a mod. And of course, we have Intimidate, which pairs so nicely with the Lady Death, all the amplified damage, multiplicative damage, while you have bonus armor, amplifies total weapon damage by 35% to enemies within 10 meters. We're going to be right up in the face of all of our enemies because we want to kill them as quick as possible. Moving on to the holster now, and we have our first piece of improvised gear. You can craft these at the crafting bench. Again guys, it's very hard to get the rolls that you want, but once you get them, it's definitely worth it. We have 170k armor, 9.9% critical hit damage, and 6% critical hit chance. And the reason you use improvised gear is because we get the extra mod slot on the holster, knee pads, and gloves. So we have 12% protection from elites via that mod. Moving on to our knee pads, we have the Fox Prayer knee pads, so we get the 8% damage tox out cover. That's more multiplicative damage with 170k armor rolled on there. We have 10% critical hit damage. Moving on to the gloves, we have improvised gloves with 15% weapon damage, 5.5% critical hit chance, 10.7% critical hit damage, and a mod giving us 12% protection from elites. As you can see guys, we're not max rolls on everything. There's still a lot of room to gain a lot more damage. Of course, we have the Memento backpack. It's just amazing for any run and gun build. 15% weapon damage, 160k armor, 1 skill tier, and then 12% protection from elites. If you guys want to go over the kill confirm talent, feel free to do that. Now moving on to our skills, and the skills are optional. If you're farming just heroic control points with this build, you can use anything from the Firefly to the Shock Trap. You can use a Hive, you can use the Decoy. It's totally up to you. You can stick with the shield if you want to. You're going to be up in the face of a lot of enemies. You're going to be focus fired, so the shield does help, but it's definitely optional. I will say when you play Legendary Summit, it's probably best to use a shield. Now I'm going to leave you guys with a stat sheet with this build. I'm not going to say anything through it. Don't forget guys to smash that like button because it really helps support the channel. It really helps us grow. You guys killed it with a 500 like challenge on the last one, so let's go for it again. The more likes we get, the more comments, the better. I'll leave you guys with a stat sheet and some gameplay. And with that said, peace out, Mod Squad.